This will be a quick video on how to install my spacer kit. First, use the Phillips screwdriver to remove the screw in the group head, to remove the shower screen, and the brass dispersion plate. So, in my kit, you will have the outer spacer, an inner spacer, and then a variety of shims and two different screws. One of the screws has a larger head than the other. This one has a smaller head, and it is used in the IMS screen, where the larger one is for a mesh style screen, either like this or the one that the Decent comes with. Either one is actually okay, but this fits a little better. So what you do is take the brass dispersion plate, put the outer spacer in, put the inner spacer in, and then drop the shower screen back into place. And now you have the whole thing that goes back in. But you will see that without any of these shims, the screen will flatten as you tighten it. So it's okay because some people prefer that. But if you don't, you may add any number of shims back in to retain the curvature of the screen. I like to use just one of the thick shims. This one is noticeably thicker than this one. Sorry, the focus is off. You can see the thinner one is more shiny than the thick one. The thick one is more dull. So just like that, you have the inner spacer with one of the thicker shims. Put the outer spacer back in, and then put the shower screen back on top. So just make sure that you look around the edge and that the O-ring is properly seated within the spacer. Here is a spacer that you can see there is a groove that the O-ring must sit into all around. So the O-ring will squish, creating a seal between the spacer and the brass. Lastly, on the top side of the brass block, you will see two holes. This one is for the temperature probe, which is that guy. So this hole is for that probe to sit into. And you also notice there are two locator pins right here. Those locator pins must fit into these two holes. So that means that this whole assembly can only be installed this way. Cannot be this way, cannot be this way. It must go this way. This hole must face to the right side towards the Decent logo. So you just bring the whole thing up, and it's hard to do this with one hand, but you can feel it lock into place. So now, if you can see through the mirror, I've fully seated it, and I cannot rotate it because those two pins are locking it from rotation. So from there, everything looks good, and all you need to do now is to tighten this screw, and you're good to go.